I am not a happy person. And I don't think that's such a bad thing. See, when I was younger, I used to focus on happiness like it was a thing that I could just find. Like it was something that I could actively achieve every single day. That's not happiness though. That's joy. Happiness happens. It's just a thing that comes and goes. Focusing on all that happiness when I was younger, I think truly made me unhappy in a way that I'm not now. See, when I say that I'm not a happy person, that doesn't mean that I'm don't have happy experiences. It doesn't mean that I'm all pessimistic and full of, anger and whatever the opposite of happiness is. It just means that I no longer focus on happiness. It's not my main goal anymore. It's not the thing that I search for. It's not what I strive for. It simply is just part of my life. I wouldn't say, to you that, you breathe. It's just a thing that happens. It's not some huge show of, amazingness. It's just a thing that happens. From time to time, you can be happy. But you don't have to just keep focusing on that. If you keep chasing happiness, it's like trying to chase your dog down after they steal something that they shouldn't be having. The faster you run, the faster they're going to get away from you. See, I used to focus on being happy so much that I think focusing on it as much as I did genuinely made me unhappy as, a younger person when I was a kid per se. When I was younger, back in high school times, I used to only focus on the things that would make me happy right then and there. I never thought about the long term, and I never thought about what I would call myself now peace. I never thought about peace or freedom or any of the true values in life. See, when I was younger, I used to stay up for days at a time playing video games. Back then it was Skyrim. That was my, quote unquote addiction, was that. And I don't think that it was necessarily the game itself that I was so attached to and so hooked onto. I think that even younger me understood this at some sort of level, that all that I truly wanted was the freedom to do whatever I wanted. See, in that game, for anybody who has never played it, there are a somewhat strict set of rules. There are things you can and things you cannot do in that game. It's like any board game that you play. There's freedom within it, but there are still those set of rules. And that falsimile of freedom that I got from that game was what I think the main thing that drew me to it. It was the idea of freedom to do whatever I wanted in there that made me, quote unquote, happy at the time. But I should have paid a little bit more attention to the reason why I was playing it instead of staying up for days at a time. Saying, yes, let me play one more quest, let me level up one more time, do one more thing, chasing that little hit of dopamine that you only ever get in a video game, not like in real life where I could be chasing my goal for 5, 10, 15 years, never see the completion of it, never see that, any progress. There's no XP bar in real life that shows you how close you are to reaching that next goal. And I think that's what drew me to those games specifically, was that knowledge of progress. I knew what would happen all of the time. I knew how close I was to completing a goal. I knew what I needed to do to progress. And see, when you're a young kid, you don't know what you need to do. Well, I'm pretty old now, and I still don't know what I need to do to reach my goals. Now, like I said, I'm a little bit older, I'm a little bit wiser, and I've figured out some things, but that doesn't mean that I know everything. That I'm not saying that I'm, the most knowledgeable person on everything on the planet, and everything I do and say is correct, not in the slightest. I'm smart enough to know how little I actually know. But I have figured out a few things that work for me that I wish that I knew when I was younger. See, when I was younger, like I said, staying up for days at a time, one of the things that I neglected to do constantly was study, was doing my homework, was being a good student and being a person who wanted all of that knowledge. Admittedly, not bragging for this, I was in the accelerated programs as a kid. And even during that in normal classes, I was so uninterested with everything because to me it just clicked and made sense. It's logic, it's facts, it's history, the the concrete sciences, that all made sense to me. Math even. It was never something that I felt like I needed to try, never something that I felt like I needed to study or really even care about. So I just didn't. Now that I'm in college, that set me up on quite a rough path, having to teach myself how to study, having to teach myself discipline on getting my homework done, getting everything turned in on time, making sure that I show all my work, reading the instructions for these assignments. If I would have just listened to the people who have already been through it all and know a little bit more than me, I wouldn't feel as behind as I am. But in the same vein, I'm also happy. I'm happy may be the wrong word for it, but I'm thankful to my past self that I took the time then to enjoy my childhood and I wasn't so focused on the things that I am now. Nowadays, I spend 4, 5, 6 days a week at the gym because I've set a goal for myself. And at this point, I don't even think it's me enjoying going to the gym anymore. I do think that it's almost an addiction at this point, but, a healthy one, something that keeps me on the good, disciplined path. But when I was younger, I didn't have to worry about that. I could just exist as a kid. I could make the mistakes that, now I'm glad that I'm not making those mistakes anymore. I've learned from them. As long as you learn from a mistake, I don't think it's truly a mistake. I think it's a lesson. So I've had a lot of lessons in life that I think have all culminated together to make me the person that I am today. And it has been an amazing thing knowing that I am just better than I used to be. Not in, a vain sense of that word, but in more of a pride sense of that. I was not a great, human, we'll say. I did not take care of the things that I needed to take care of. I did not pay attention. I didn't listen. I was so focused on just that quick hit of dopamine to really do anything that would have led to a more positive and quicker setup in life. And nowadays that I'm a bit older and wiser, I've learned that happiness should not be my goal. That, quick hit of dopamine, that little bit of the happy chemical that just makes the world go round, isn't even something that I remotely need anymore. You know, I do understand medically, yes, you do need dopamine. It's the thing that makes your body function the proper way, but I don't need the feeling of happiness that is associated with it. And when I say that, I don't mean that I don't want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. I just mean that it's not my focus anymore. It's not something that I care about. I would rather set goals and set tasks for myself and know that I have the discipline and the ability to just sit down and focus on it, even if it sucks, even if it's a thing that I can't stand. Like, English class. I hate English class with a burning passion. It is the bane of my existence. It's the thing that I cannot stand doing more than anything on this planet. And yet I have managed to sit down and focus on writing to the point where even my professor from after getting a little bit of feedback, talking with them about how to become a better writer, that even they say, they're impressed with my growth on that, which is not something that I would have been able to do. English has always been my worst class because it was something that did challenge me. And knowing that I'm overcoming that challenge doesn't necessarily bring me happiness, but it does bring me a sense of pride in myself, something that I know that I had a challenge that I have overcame. That's not something to be happy about. That's something to be prideful of, at least in my opinion. Knowing that I can do all of these things that I used to never be able to do is something that fills me with, I would say, joy is a better word for it. It's not happiness. It's not something that happens, that comes and goes. That is something that I have actively made, put effort into, and did something to achieve it. Take, for instance, the thing that you're watching now, me working out. I have had a goal for quite a long time now. It's been years that I've been in and out of the gym. And yes, I say in and out. I have tried and failed a few times, but that's neither here nor there. I'm still working towards it, so I don't truly count it as a failure. It's, a little setback, a little pause in the pursuit of this goal. But I have this goal to like my body. I want to be able to look at myself and be impressed with the work that I've done. And that's still something that I'm working on. That's going to be a lifelong goal. That's never something that I'll ever stop doing. But having goals is better than just chasing that quick bit of happiness. Having something that you can actively work towards, having that material outcome, that physical, tangible outcome is, I think, better than the little bit of happiness that you may get from eating a whole tub of ice cream. It's not healthy for you. It's not going to do anything for your future. It's not going to make you better in any way. It'll give you a little bit of happiness for the short time that you're having it, and then right afterwards, you're slow, you're sluggish, all that sugar's gone through your system, you're not happy anymore. Having the discipline to just not do that, focus on my gym goals, focus on my school goals, focus on my life goals, that's true freedom, which is the thing that I've been searching for apparently my entire life without even knowing it until I actually sat down to think about it. Not just for this video, I have a whole list of topics that I could have chosen for today, but being able to sit down and truly think about it is all that I've ever wanted is freedom. I've wanted the ability to just do whatever I want within, a pretty strict set of guidelines, but do whatever I want within those. And the discipline that you have to hold yourself to be able to achieve those goals and achieve that freedom constantly allows you to be happy when happiness happens, but it no longer makes it the focus of your life, which makes every time that you are happy so much better. So when I say that I'm not a happy person, that doesn't mean that I'm unhappy, that I'm angry, that I'm sad, that I'm whatever it is. It means that I'm at peace. I have discipline, I have my goals, I have all of the things that I'm working towards, and I'm no longer chasing that dopamine rush. But I'm still happy when happiness happens to me.